paid for.
Why
But
is it
if
so?
I'll give you a number. Out of my extended family of 70, only 6 of us remained alive. So that's a big number. Actually, during the Holocaust, there were 6 million Jewish people who were killed and 5 million others. These were the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Catholic priests, the homosexuals. They were not Jewish, but they were disliked by Hitler, and he tried to eliminate them as well. Matter of fact, I spoke at a homosexual gathering where one of the young person created a beautiful statue in memory of the departed one. So it was a horrible way of killing people.
What was in the middle of the Star of David?
The Star of David, is there something in the middle?
Oh, it said Jew.
Jewish.
Jewish.
Tell about the different symbols for the different groups.
Oh, yes, I have that too. Well, what we do that? Oh, you know, everybody was labeled. The Jewish people were labeled with the Star of David. The non-Jewish people, a triangle painted on the back of their shirt, telling their affiliation and country of origin. The shirt had painted green. These were professional criminals. Painted black, Russians, Ukraine, and Gypsies. Red, political opponents to the right meaning Germany. Pink was for the homosexuals, violet was for the pacifists and Jehovah's Witnesses, and yellow was for the yellow star for the Jews. So, you know, everybody was labeled discriminated. And it was a terrible, terrible thing. But I forgot to read you something that during the wartime, General Eisenhower was officiating in Germany, and he was involved liberating many of the concentration camps. And this is his remarks, listen to it carefully. General Eisenhower said, "I have never felt able to describe my emotional reaction when I first came face to face with indisputable evidence of Nazi brutality and ruthless disregard of every shred of decency. I visited every nook and cranny of the camp because I felt it my duty to be in a position from then on to testify at first hand about these things in case there ever grew up at home the belief or assumption that the stories of Nazi brutality were just propaganda." And then the poet Angelo wrote this quotation about freedom. She said, "Freedom is a fragile thing and is never more than one generation away from the extinction. They must be fought for and defended every day." Now I want to share with you a little poem that one of my survivor friends wrote several years ago. Title of it is "Scapegoats Again" by Eva Gross. Hitler never died. He only slumbers. If in any generation, at some part of the globe, a nation sinks into a slum, those with the loudest voice search for a scapegoat. Hitler awakens, wearing a different suit, shouting in a different language, but carries the same message of hate. Camouflage their shortcomings. The people are pleased to follow him. So this is the thing that we should be aware and do the best we can to keep freedom alive.
What was the first thing you did when you were free?
The first thing you did when you were free.
Cry, and laugh and hug each other. I mean, it is an indescribable moment after you thought that the end is here. And all of a sudden, the pendulum swings and you're a free person. I mean, I tell you, matter of fact, there was one thing that happened to me after liberation. I would walk down the street and I thought that a Nazi soldier is right behind me, watching me where I'm going. I couldn't get rid of that feeling for the longest time. I mean, it was just a terrible experience.
You also talk about eating so much.
Eating. Oh, that part. When we were liberated, we could not stop eating. It started with all the sweets, with all kinds of food. I won't tell you what it did to my tummy, after it was empty for so many months, but we could not stop it for a longest time. Matter of fact, it kind of blew up, because all the food was just shoved in, Normally you eat a plate, a dinner plate. You would have like 3 of those. And it took a long time and until we got, adjusted and kind of, we were healing. Once we were healing, the eating subsided. But that was quite an experience. So what can you do? I mean, these are the things that the body needs, your mind needs. Just hard.
So you said think before you hate. So how do you feel towards the Nazis and the people who tortured you, and what would you say to them if you still had the chance?
How do you feel about the Nazis, and what would you say to them if you had a chance?
Oh, the Nazis. Well, remember I tell you that I do not hate, or I tell you not to hate. So I want to go to my grave with a clear heart, and as far as the Nazi person, after all these years, he had to live with, or has to live with, 3 things. His eyes saw all the tragedies. His nose smelled the burning flesh. His ears heard the crying. Okay? And that can stay with you for a lifetime. So that's all I want them to feel in memory of all the dead. I don't want to hate, it's not a hatred, but that's a terrible feeling when it comes back to you. And I am positive that they are confronted with this kind of feelings. No matter of fact, you know what? I have a German boyfriend. Okay? He's altogether 32 years old now. Anyhow, let me tell you a nice stuff. About 60 years ago in Germany, one of the Church of Ascension, the board of directors got together and decided that what can we do to help the world? To help disabled people, war-torn countries, that type of helping. So they decided that take a high school graduate, boy or girl, educate them to be ready to go out into another country. Now, remember, it's only 18-year-old kid. To how to help these people. And the directors got together, they talked back and forth, and the Holocaust Museum have heard about that existence about 30-some years ago. And that's where the directors thought, how are we going to do that? With a survivor with the baggage on her shoulder about the Holocaust era, and here's the German kid. So the director said, the smartest thing in this world. She said, how will we know if we don't try it? They tried it, and it is the most harmonious relationship. Germany sends every year 2 kids, a boy and a girl, who are helped by a German consulate in Chicago making housing arrangements and watching over the kids. And these 2 kids are working at the Holocaust Museum. It is the nicest friendship ever. And like I said, this young man became my friend, so much so that when he first started, he was only 19 years old. And I happened to live across the street from the old Holocaust Museum, and he had to live in the city. So to come into Skokie, he had to take 2 buses. So in October, I said to him, I said, you know what, Gregor? I have an empty bedroom. You have to go exactly just 20 steps to go across the street. Why don't you stay at my house? It's too cold outside and so forth. And I said, I'll feed you too. So that was about 2000 and 2005 or 6. To this day, our friendship is stronger than ever. Matter of fact, I'll be in Germany for this Buchenwald reunion, and he and his wife are renting an apartment there to visit with me or stay with me the entire time. So could you ask anything nicer? So that's how it goes. You know, you just have to know how to sort out your life, what is important, what isn't.
How do you feel about Germany today?
How do I feel about Germany today? I don't hate. I told you about the children. And life goes on. I mean, Germany today is not the Germany of the Nazi era. They are more understanding, they are more caring, they are more helpful. So it's a totally different world. So I forgive everybody.
So another question they had was, did you go back to the Auschwitz? Have you gone back?
Auschwitz, I do not. There are frequent trips annually, and I mean, many of my friends have done it. I did it once. It's enough for 10 billion lifetimes, number one. And if I wouldn't be talking frequently about my experiences, I would say, okay, I go back. But I am living it and reliving it. So therefore, to see the tragic sides, I don't want to do it. I mean, most, like I said, most of the people go, but I do my remembrance and the memory of the 6 million who cannot talk. I talk on their behalf.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Can you tell us how old you are?
How old I am? Oh, only 92 and a half.
And her phone has rung more than any of ours.
So
She's not wrong.
That's why I take advantage by my feet.
Other questions?
Any other questions?
Can I stop recording now?
One more question.
What was the scariest thing about all of it for you?
The scariest thing of all of it? What was the scariest moment?
The scariest moment was we are in Auschwitz, and we were taken to have a shower, okay? So as we are approaching that building, it had a black wrought iron door. And on the door were maybe 10 or 12 stickers that you put on the poison bottle. And that gave us an understanding that we're going into a poisonous territory, and probably this is the end. So now the shower was arranged so that it had an empty room with some bleachers to wait until one group was done and then go in. if you can imagine the silence in a church, that's nothing. Every one of us were sitting on that bleacher without uttering one word. I was reliving my 17 years of existence. I thought about my family, I thought about my friends, I thought about my schooling. I could not talk. So when the time came to enter the shower room, until the water started coming down, it was the silence, like I explained. Everybody was ready that something bad will happen. But thank the Lord it didn't. But I mean, that was the biggest fear I ever had. So, you know, that,
Okay, I'm about to stop recording.
Let's say that you guys are welcome